Welcome to this USA Triathlon sanctioned event, and thanks for volunteering. Today we're going to show you how to properly volunteer at the finish line of a triathlon, duathlon, or multi-sport event. The finish line can become very crowded, so it's critical that all volunteers are well trained so they can operate efficiently and promote the highest level of athlete safety. Immediately as athletes cross the finish line, they'll be looking for water or energy replacement fluids like Gatorade. It's important that the water and Gatorade are cold and ready to distribute. Please ensure that coolers are stocked with enough water for the whole race and that they are iced and getting cold, especially if it's hot outside. Please also ensure that coolers are stocked with enough Gatorade or energy replacement fluids and that they are iced and getting cold as well. All wrappers should be removed from the bottles before people start finishing. This may require the cap to be unscrewed and replaced after the internal wrapper is removed. Removing the wrappers will help the athletes more quickly rehydrate after they finish. Volunteers should be wearing gloves when doing this. As athletes cross the finish line, half of the volunteers in the area should hand out water, while the other half should hand out energy fluid. If poured cups are being utilized rather than bottled water and energy fluid, a few tables should be set up like an on-course aid station. Please watch the aid station volunteer video for more information. If cold towels are being distributed, a few volunteers should also be dedicated to this and making sure they're stocked throughout the race. A few volunteers should be dedicated to handing out finisher medals. A table or stand will be needed to lay out the medals well before athletes start to finish. Any plastic wrappers or coverings should be removed. When athletes begin finishing, volunteers should be ready to place medals around the finishers' necks. Some athletes might not want the medal placed around their neck and will just want to hold on to it until they recover. If reusable timing chips are being used, several volunteers should be dedicated to removing the chips as the athletes cross the finish line. A few buckets or bins will be needed at the finish line to collect all of those used chips. Volunteers should wear disposable gloves while doing this. As athletes cross the finish line, ask them to stop while you remove the chip for them. Collect all chips in the bins. Be aware that some athletes may need to get water or medical assistance immediately as they cross the finish line, so you may need to follow them until they're able to stop for a moment. As chips are collected, volunteers should ask the head timer where the chips should be taken. A few volunteers may be asked to help sort the chips into their appropriate storage containers. At races with a lot of competitors, volunteers may be needed to assist with crowd control in the finish area. The main objective is to keep spectators and non-participants out of the finish chute and finisher areas, as well as keep people flowing through the chute so the area doesn't get too backed up. Volunteers assisting with crowd control should be positioned in areas of high visibility. These may include exit of the finish chute, immediately after the finish line, and in front of the finish line. Volunteers at either end of the finish chute should be keeping non-participants and spectators out of the chute and off the course. Volunteers posted after the finish line should focus on keeping finishers moving through the area and helping them get to the medical or water areas as needed. Some volunteers will be required to assist the contracted medical team. Report to the lead doctor, nurse, or EMT for specific directions and responsibilities. Thanks for volunteering and helping our athletes have the most positive experience on race day.